Hello, welcome to this quick update. Let's just see what's happening for North America because we have some stuff in the tropics to watch and also for some slight stuffy weather. So here today, let's see the fire outlook first. We have like critical fire weather for parts of Northern California and some elevated around it as well, especially like some scattered dry thunderstorms and more spots of dry thunderstorms possible. So be careful. They say critical fire weather area, but on this map it only shows the dry thunderstorms. So let's see. A close mid-level low bring moisture in parts of Northern California to the Pacific Northwest. The troughs expect to dig into the Pacific Northwest, and with increasing westerly flow and overspread the Cascades, some locally elevated fire weather concerns will be possible across the Cascade gaps. So be careful in those areas, especially the areas that they mentioned. And an increase in shower thunderstorm activity is expected across parts of Northern California in Southern Oregon with the increase in moisture inland, progression of the upper low. A mix of wet and dry thunderstorms are expected. A moisture increase trough in the afternoon as the moisture increases. So be careful in those areas. And here, let's see the severe weather. It's just a marginal, nothing too crazy, but let's take a look. So we have this white marginal goes all the way from Montana to Texas and as far north as New York and spots in the Midwest. So less than 2% tornado threat. This mainly for some isolated damaging winds and some hail, especially in some parts of the high plains and the Midwest. So let's see. Locally, the damage in the thunderstorm wind gusts will be possible across parts of the Great Lakes to central southern plains, mainly this afternoon and evening, and isolated severe storms pose a risk of hail and severe wind gusts over parts of northern central high plains. So be careful in those areas, nothing too crazy, but just be aware. And tomorrow for Friday, a marginal in the northern plains and spots in the northeast as well. So just some hail in the northern plains, some wind in both areas, and less than 2% tornado threat. So scarce to severe storms perhaps developing a line may pose a risk of damaging wind gusts across parts of New England, northern mid-Atlantic. On Friday, the development of organized cluster storms potentially produce strong to severe wind gusts is also possible in North Dakota Friday evening. Be careful. And for Saturday, let's see, because this is working kind of bad today here. So shows still two marginal risks for Saturday spots in the Midwest and also in Idaho to Montana and the Dakotas. So be careful in those areas. 5% probabilistic and some general storms possible in all the areas. So be aware strong thunderstorms accompanied with potential damaging gusts are possible Saturday to Saturday night across parts the Midwest into the southern Great Lakes region and parts in the northern Rockies into the Dakotas. So be aware and yeah, stay safe. Let's see, still some isolated dry thunderstorms possible for Friday tomorrow across the west. So be careful in those areas and yeah, so stay safe. And I'm not sure why they don't display the fire threat here and only show the dry thunderstorm. But yeah, you're right. It's a critical fire area for parts of Northern California, but it's weird that it doesn't display there. But yeah, so let's continue with some stuff for the excessive rainfall. So there's still this slight risk across northeastern New Mexico, all the way to southwestern Michigan, across the plains Midwest today. So be careful in those areas. Some heavy rain still in the south, spots to the west as well. Be aware some flash flooding. Day two, more to the Midwest and plains. Some marginal spots of the northeast, the south, spots of the northern plains into the west again. Day three. These four areas on the Midwest, across the South, the Northern Plains, and the West, mainly these areas that will experience some heavy rain, and later by day four in the Midwest again by Sunday, and the margin in the Northeast and Southwest still a day five marginal from Montana to Michigan, spots in the southwest. So be careful. Day one through seven does show an increase in storms in spots of the Gulf and the plains as well, potential to 4 inches, a spot or two, and even more. So be aware. And yeah, stay safe. There's still this heat wave happening across those areas. So this was updated Wednesday, yesterday, but let's see here. Dangerous long duration heat wave, unusually hot and humid weather remains in place across the mid-south, mid-Mississippi Valley for at least the early next week, while the heat expands northeast for a brief period on Friday, builds southeast by this weekend. The heat is expected to be most persistent, oppressive from the mid-south to the southeast, widespread major to extreme heat risk. There's a high confidence heat will reach levels that would affect anyone without sufficient cooling and or adequate hydration, particularly across the southeast. This includes high temperatures, the upper 90s to 100, heat indices potentially exceeding 110 degrees. So please be careful. Long duration heat waves that last multiple days in a row, little to no overnight relief, and high humidity levels pose a greater danger. So stay safe in those areas and please be careful. Here for those storms in Canada, let's see if they have something. So today's Thursday, so does show this high area of potential strong to severe storms in Alberta and this yellow moderate area and some general storms there in the gray. So in area C is showing even like a small tornado threat, some 30 millimeters and 3 to 5 centimeter hail, and also some damaging gusts. So stay safe in those areas today. Be careful. Still this is Thursday. This is the same day. They didn't update it yet. So be careful in those areas. In Ontario, shows like they choose today. Shows Thursday through Friday. In area A and area B, potentially some strong winds, some heavy rain, and also some hail, and also a small tornado threat in area A, like central southern Ontario. So stay safe. Day three, still a storm or two in the far south. Quebec, today's Thursday through Friday, shows in area a small tornado threat, some 2 centimeter hail, damaging winds. So stay safe in those areas. Warn others. Here, now in the tropics, we have many areas to watch. There's this area like in the subtropical Atlantic. It's not developing to anything tropical, it's just an area of low pressure there. But it's an interesting feature. There's like in the Gulf, this is by next Sunday, the 27th. The European does show up to 60% chance of a tropical depression in the upper Gulf. But the guidance has been shifting a little bit. Some models show less, and others like more. So let's see, by Monday, the 28th, decreases in the Gulf, but still a few tropical waves to watch. Monday, Tuesday, and this tropical wave by July 31st starts getting our interest, especially like by August 1st, still shows a 60% chance of tropical depression. And the European ensembles were kind of interesting for this next wave as well. So I think the places to watch are like the Gulf now and this area, the Atlantic later on into the end of July. So tropical storm probabilities barely any in the Gulf, just that's actual tropical area. This goes and does show 5 to 10%, but by August 2nd in the Central Atlantic. So that's something to watch. Here, the GFS model has like it does have a tropical wave there in the Atlantic, by like tomorrow, the 25th, even has a center of low pressure. This goes, but it barely makes it. But the GFS is kind of interesting. It has like practically a tropical depression or storm in the Eastern Caribbean by the 28th. This is just one run of the GFS. Don't get fooled or scared, but it's a small possibility. This goes, the GFS even strengthens this slightly more and then dies out in the Caribbean. And later, it's not showing anything too exciting. There's the 0 just to compare. The 0 just had a tropical wave in the Caribbean on the 24th. Barely any storm, but yeah, w- better just watch this because like right now this wave is quite strong there in the Atlantic. There's the European 0Z shows like there the shock wave this goes but gets swallowed by dust later. But by July 29th and 30th does show that other wave that we are watching like central Atlantic potentially something but then kind of struggles and dissipates later. So we are watching, but still nothing too certain. There's the Canadian model shows that strong shock wave now, but then it dies, and later it's not showing anything too exciting. So here we actually have an area in the Gulf to watch 10% probability. So trough low pressure with the north central Gulf is going to produce a broad area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms over the next day or two. The system forecast should move generally westward across north central parts of the Gulf, where some slow development is possible by this weekend. Thus, it's likely to move inland and its chances of development. Regardless of tropical cycle formation, locally heavy rainfall portion of the Gulf Coast through this weekend. So stay safe, some heavy rain, but still a low chance according to them. In the Pacific, we actually have this area in the central-ish Pacific, an area low pressure forecast development well to the southeast of the Hawaiian Islands by this weekend. Thereafter, some gradual development is possible. Tropical depression could form while the system moves journey westward 10 to 50 miles per hour. So they already have this as a 40% chance, but it is just in the middle of the Pacific. It probably won't affect anyone, but we are just watching, and here it is. So be aware and just a quick look at these severe storms before we continue. Shows like Thursday today, some strong to severe ones, the Midwest plains, the high plains, some stronger ones, and also there in Ontario shows a strong line of storms. So Friday this goes, and there's those storms, the Gulf Coast, the disturbance there. So be aware, especially in these storms this afternoon. There's the Cape before the storms come. So the HER showing even to like 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram, a few spots in the Midwest before the storms come. It shows in the plains as well, but most of the storms be like central high plains. And there's a lot of caping spots in southern Canada too. We are watching spots in Alberta. There'll be some more storms, 1,000 to 2,000 joules per kilogram. So be careful those storms and stay safe too. And here for this heat. In Canada, it's not too much, but there's like more heat across Southern Ontario, those areas, so be aware. And central-ish Canada is very warm, warm to hot, depending on how you cope with it. So shows some mid-high 20s, and then Saturday and Sunday still central to Eastern Canada. It's hotter there. And does show like by Tuesday the 29th in Alaska, northwestern Canada, still warmer. And then some nights colder, especially northern Nunavut and the Rockies there, a few spots in the Rockies. So be aware. And like this week, like for example, Friday morning tomorrow, does show during the night slightly cold northwestern territories, spots in British Columbia and Alaska. So yeah, be aware. And here, just very quick, still shows Thursday today in the US, like more than 100 in the southwest, some 90s scattered along the west. Also, this 90s as far north as New Hampshire, so be careful. Close to 100 spots in the south, even more than 100 degrees Texas. And remember the heat indices, so stay safe in those areas. During the night, still some 70s and 80s in a few areas, so still hot during the night, and like more hundreds in the plains, and 90s during the day as far north as Montana, some 90s, 100s in the southwest. For Saturday morning, some 70s during the night, still slightly milder to colder in the high elevations, the Sierra Nevada, the Rockies, but the other areas still hot. So Saturday afternoon again, close to 100 in the plains, plus those heat indices, especially in the southeast with the humidity, and spots in the southwest more than 100. So stay safe in those areas. Sunday morning still some 70s during the night, close to 80s, and Sunday still more than 100 in the plains, the southwest, and spots in the southeast, even to like 103 South Carolina. Those heat indices might make it very unbearable, especially some 81 degrees during the night. So stay safe, and into next Monday still pretty hot in the southeast, like hundreds, because the upper region shows like the plains as well in the west. So stay safe, and even to like 109 in the southwest. So warn others. Be careful those areas. Just checking the European ensembles for the tropics because there's an interesting trend. So 240 hours out does have slightly more support at that tropical wave on July 30th into August 2nd. Those areas, it might pass north of the Caribbean, but it's not too much support, but it is something to watch. So better watch those areas. And there's another area later by the first days of August, like the subtropical Atlantic, to maybe watch too. So be aware. There's the GFS also showing some slight potential there to watch. And he, here, like the Eastern Pacific, the GFS has also been showing a lot of support Central Eastern Pacific and also Central Pacific way south of Hawaii. So don't worry there, but just better keep watching. But you better watch closer in Mexico because some operational runs of the GFS were taking stuff closer to Mexico. So better just watch there. And be careful these showers and storms in the Caribbean from these shock waves, because still more than 20 millimeters to 30, and a few spots in the Eastern Caribbean. So be careful those storms, the coasts of Honduras and Nicaragua to 119 millimeters, and spots in Mexico there, like close to 100 millimeters southern Mexico, and still some storms central northern Mexico, mainly in the afternoon. So stay safe. More spots in Central America, some storm or two in Jamaica. Sometimes these storms can be stronger. They just pop up in the evening, so be careful. Across Cuba, storm or two, Hispaniola, and yeah. So stay safe. And the European model that does show some higher totals in the Midwestern US as well, and more rain across most of central southern Canada, northern British Columbia, and even to Alaska, more rain. So be aware. The snow, not really much, just in the northern Rockies, a thing or two in Alaska, northern Nunavut, and the European does show a thing or two in Alberta in the mountains, but the GFS nothing, just in Nunavut, the GFS. So be aware. And yeah, stay safe. The image of the day is this crazy lightning strike I got yesterday in a storm. So yeah, stay safe.